So there's that door I showed you that you could get in, hug the wall, go up the steps, and go right to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And she testified that nobody could get in that door. I would have to physically open that door from the inside. Well, they just showed you that somebody came in and she didn't let them in physically. That someone was able to get in there. CBS News has now debunked the Jeffrey Epstein jail cell video.
Oh, they're sore about that lawsuit.
Remember there was a minute missing? But there's a lot. Turns out there's a lot more problems with this video. And the big fact is that the camera that was supposed to be pointing at Jeffrey Epstein's cell and the stairs up to it, turns out it wasn't. Turns out you could sneak right in. So watch this. So CBS News.
Just want to point out, Jimmy, first suicide that this jail has had in over 13 years. And they've kept El Chapo in there without incident. They haven't had an incident like this in 13 years. So it wasn't that it's just in bad condition. This is special.
So let me show you the video. Here's the video. Let's get right to it. Just like we're going to get right to the stand-up comedy Sunday in Oxnard, California, and then we're going to Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan at the Village Underground, Manhattan, New York, and then Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Here's what CBS said about Jeffrey Epstein's video and about how the people could easily get in and out of his cell. Watch this.
Epstein was held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan in a unit separate from the general population known as the Special Housing Unit, or SHU.
So he was held in a special housing unit. And still, they didn't have any cameras on him. They're special.
It has 3 wings, each with 2 levels. Epstein was held in the upstairs L tier of his wing.
So here's where Epstein was held. And then you can come right in this door and go right up. And watch this.
That tier is accessed by a set of stairs from the central common area. Directly adjacent to those stairs is the officer's station, where on-duty...
So here's where you see the office. So the guards are sitting here. Here's the stairs that go up to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. You can't, from the camera's over here. The camera goes this way, so it cuts off half the staircase. So you can't see anybody coming in this door. Because there's a door over here.
Is it always like that? Or was
there's a door over here. So
day?
Somebody could come right in up here and go right up. So watch.
Corrections officers spend most of their time. The Inspector General report says several cameras in the unit were streaming a live feed to a remote.
So there's supposed to be a camera here, a camera there, a camera here, and a camera here. But only one of them was working.
And normally they all work because they don't have this stuff happen there for many years.
That's right.
Thanks CBS for just now bringing it up too, by the way.
Location in the prison, but no one was watching them. Malfunctioning equipment meant only one camera.
Malfunction. So you would think at the highest level of security of an American prison that there could be, you think when their cameras go down, they go, we'll get to it next week. You get to it immediately. It's like, hey, there's something wrong with the... Let's go. There's a camera malfunction. Let's go get it. Let's go fix it.
So they all turned off? They all turned off as if hacked by Pegasus?
Yeah, they all turned off except for one camera, a camera that doesn't show a clear view of the stairs going up to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Or the door. So there's a door right here, and people could go right in and go right up.
Yeah.
So let's watch.
Recorded the general area. That camera captured part of the common area.
So this is the only camera that they got. This was the only camera, and it didn't get... Here's what
the office.
So you see how it doesn't get half the steps? So you can come in this door right here, stay along the wall, and go right up those steps, and the camera's not going to get you.
Yeah. Well, I resent even that they're showing this evidence and having to show it. Everybody should have thought this the whole time and been saying it the whole time. Why didn't they? Why didn't they? And it's crazy when you think back on this, where I watched Dan Bongino's stupid tweet that I'm going to get to this by the book.
Yeah.
Well, shut up, idiot. You're trying to go back to your podcast.
Your station and a sliver of the staircase leading to Epstein's cell.
So there it is. So the camera only gets the workstation, and it gets up here too, which is people mistakenly thought these were doors that led into his cell. These are not. The door is over here, and you have to go up these steps, which the camera doesn't catch.
The footage begins at 7:40 p.m. the night before.
So this is where people thought, so the camera's over here, People thought these were the doors to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. It's not. The doors to Jeffrey Epstein's cell is around this corner and up these steps, and the camera doesn't catch it.
Epstein's death. You can see staff and inmates moving about, preparing for the nightly lockdown. That's the officer's station in the background. Only 2 employees have been publicly identified. Tova Noel, a corrections officer pulling a double shift that began at 4 p.m., and Michael Thomas, a materials handler who won't arrive until midnight. Epstein is seen for the first and only time on camera at 7:49 p.m. when the Department of Justice said he was escorted to his cell from another wing of the unit.
So you see how they go up the steps? You can't see the steps. You can't even see Epstein going up the steps to his own cell.
It's important to note here, you don't actually see Epstein ascend the stairwell to his cell block.
You don't actually. That's important to note. Yeah. Important to note that the camera angle doesn't catch the steps that lead up to Jeffrey Epstein's cell.
Remember what Dan Bongino said.
There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
So now he's lying.
Wow.
So I've liked a lot of the work Dan Bongino's done. I liked his show. But he's clearly compromised here. And that's horrible. That's horrible. And it's wrecking his reputation. I'm not wrecking his reputation. He's wrecking his reputation.
Edward Snowden is a hero. The rest of you are punks. Anybody this is a big problem that someone needs to snitch about right away and not be loyal to the deep state. And he's loyal to the deep state, the thing that he went on and on about,
yes.
Right?
And so he's pretending that this video, which I guess he didn't think anybody was going to see, he says it's clear as day. Well, we see it right now. Not only is it not clear as day, you can't see anything. You can't even see Epstein going up the steps into his own cell. You can't even see that.
Let's zoom in and play that again in slow motion. Here's the sliver of stairs. Epstein is here with his escort, and they walk off screen. When the FBI released the video, they said anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the common area would have been captured by this footage.
That's not true. We just proved it to you that that's not true. That you could get in there and go up those steps into his cell without being captured by the video camera, because the other 3 cameras were turned off on purpose.
But with the primary entrance here, the pathway from the
See, so there's that entrance. So the camera's over here. It only gets a sliver of the steps. So you can come in this door right here, hug the wall, go right up those steps, and the camera would never catch you. And that's what happened.
For instance,
He's probably
stairs
alive.
is completely out of view of the camera.
See?
The next
So let me back it up. So you can come in this door, hug the wall, go up these steps that I just showed you Jeffrey Epstein went up that we couldn't see him on the camera, and this camera won't catch it. That's the only camera that was working, and it won't catch it.
Out of view of the
How convenient.
camera. For the next hour or so, corrections officers and inmates are seen moving about, preparing for all prisoners to be locked down. At 8:21, another inmate is seen being escorted toward the stairs leading to Epstein's cell area. No movement is detected on the stairs again. By 8:24, all of the inmates appear to have been taken to their cells. Noel told the Inspector General she visited Epstein's cell at about 10 p.m. You can see her head in that direction here, albeit closer to 10:30, but not climb the stairs. The rules require rounds to be made every 30 minutes, but according to the report, this was the only time anyone checked on the inmates that night.
So they're supposed to be checking on Epstein continuously. They only checked on him once.
Yeah. Have you seen the guard?
Yeah.
He's got a Rick Ross beard, like that corrupt prison guard Rick Ross that became a rapper.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
his name's not really that. The same Rick Ross beard, like an aspiring rapper. And I have to tell you, I consider that massive evidence.
There was even a sign printed on orange paper posted on the guard station saying mandatory rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein.
So that is huge warning to the guards. You got to check him every 30 minutes. They checked him once at 10:30.
As per God, this was because of concerns about his risk for suicide. At 10:38 p.m., the report says someone, probably Noel, carries a bundle of bedding or clothing up the stairs. It's a rare instance the video does catch movement on the stairs, but barely. Let's see that zoomed in and in slow motion again. Several of the video forensic experts we spoke with were skeptical about the report's conclusion and thought that the video could be showing an inmate walking up the stairs. Authorities say this was the last time anyone approached his cell block until his body was discovered the next morning. Again, while the video does not contradict that, experts who viewed the video say the limited field of view makes it impossible to definitively conclude that no one used those stairs in that time period. Beyond this, there are other issues our investigation and others have uncovered. At 11:21 p.m. and 34 seconds, a cursor appears briefly on screen.
So do you see this? So the video that they released of the surveillance video, they told everybody it was the raw feed. So you're getting it right from a camera. They're giving it right to you. So the fact that there's a cursor on this video shows you that this isn't the raw video. This is someone taking a video of a monitor of a computer screen. So it's not the raw video. So that's how...
They took all that time to release this, Jimmy, and they left that detail.
And they left that in there.
What did they at the last minute do this? I thought they were preparing this for hours.
Indicating the video may have been recorded with a camera or a screen recording and was not an export of the raw file. The FBI said it had seized the prison's hard drive 5 days after his death and had released the full raw footage this month.
So that's a lie. So what that cursor proves that the FBI is lying, and they didn't and so when Dan Bongino says I saw the video, these are all lies.
Yeah.
Two experts told CBS News the video's metadata, which tracks how a file is created and changed, shows it's made from two clips stitched together in
two clips stitched together
editing software. Those experts also say the video was edited and saved multiple times. Next up.
So this video that's supposed to be the raw feed obviously isn't, because there's a cursor. There's that arrow, white arrow on the video. So it shows it's not the raw feed. Plus, video analysts figured out that it was two different videos pieced together, and it was edited, saved again. That doesn't sound like raw video to me.
The now famous missing minute. At 11:57 and 35 seconds, an individual appears on screen from the direction of the main door. It's likely this is Michael Thomas arriving for his midnight shift and replacing the other staff member on duty who'd been working from 4 to midnight. Noel was starting a second shift of 8 hours. From that point on, only Noel and Thomas were on duty during the critical window when Epstein is believed to have died. At 11:58 and 58 seconds, the video jumps to midnight, and the aspect ratio of the video changes slightly. Another indication it may have been edited.
So do you see that? You see how? See the aspect ratio? Watch.
11:58 and 58.
So you see how it looks like this? Now watch it jump.
Seconds. The video jumps to midnight.
Boom! Aspect ratio totally different.
No kidding.
The aspect ratio of the video changes slightly. Another indication it may have been edited. Zooming in and playing back in slow motion, you can see a slight shift in the shape of the figure standing or sitting around the officer's desk, but otherwise, nothing changes. Attorney General Pam Bondi attributed the missing minute to a nightly reset of the security camera system.
There was a minute that was off the counter, and what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999, so every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing, so we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute.
Oh, we're going to find that video and release it. Oh, really? I mean, after the doctored video you just released, and you lied and said it was raw video, and now we know it's not raw video, and then you spliced things together, and then you saved it, edited it, saved it, edited it again? You mean that one? You mean the one that said it was clear as day, that you could see that nobody went in or out of his cell when there's absolutely no view of those steps? You mean all those lies? So they're all lying. They're all lying, and most likely at the behest of Donald Trump. He's probably given the order. What's that, Kurt? What's that? Hey, put Kurt up.
Oh, don't blame her. I'd like to speak to the manager. Time to be a Karen about it.
Yeah.
And say, I'd like to speak to your boss, please. And that's Trump. And this is one of the shittiest jobs of covering something up I've ever seen. And the only thing I can take from it is they don't care. They're going to drop little clues. I'd like to make a bet. What do you think gets here first? The alien invading a giant ship, or this missing 2 minutes of video?
I'm going to guess the alien ship.
I'm going to guess neither.
Yeah.
And they just jerk us around.
So let's watch this.
It's missing every night.
That additional video has not been released, and a government source is alleged to CBS News the FBI and other agencies are in possession of the full, unedited footage. Why the FBI did not release that is unclear, and the agency offered no comment.
It's unclear. Well, okay, CBS, I'll go one step further. It's because they're trying to cover up the Epstein affair. That's why. They're trying to make you think that he killed himself when he didn't, when he was actually murdered in prison, according to a way more credible autopsy guy.
Hey, CBS, instead of dancing around it with this stupid thing, I'm sure people who work at CBS are involved. Why don't you get them to just rat it out? Oh, because they can't. They're going to do these little Kevin Spacey games because they'd be in trouble too. All the heads of the networks and all the banks and all the intel covens.
That's right.
They're going to play a little game for the election, but nothing is going to come out that's going to be that stupid letter that's not even a letter. to Trump, from Trump to Epstein?
Yeah.
It makes no sense because it's a play. So it's from some book with a bunch of people in it that they took the page out and pretended it was a birthday card. It made no sense. That's the bullshit they're going to do. And then you can sit there and, oh, let's look at the video. See how it changes slightly? I don't need to see none of that shit. This is ridiculous.
Okay, there's more to this ridiculous. Hang on.
Importantly, the Inspector General gives no indication there was a minute missing when their team reviewed the video. We can surmise the male staffer working the 4 to 12 shift would have left during the missing minute based on the report, leaving just Noel and Thomas. But that is not seen on camera. Serious problems with the government's investigation and witness statements don't end there. The report says the unit was secured by 2 doors, one requiring a key held only by Noel and Thomas. Noel told investigators no one could enter without her physically opening that door. But here's where it gets tricky. Let's look at this one example. 4 a.m. Noel remains in full view of the camera, yet seconds later, someone walks in, and it appears neither Noel nor Thomas let her in.
So there's that door I showed you that you could get in, hug the wall, go up the steps, and go right to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And she testified that nobody could get in that door. I would have to physically open that door from the inside. Well, they just showed you that somebody came in, and she didn't let them in physically. That someone was able to get in there. Okay, all right.
The report is silent on this apparent contradiction. And even if there was no other key, both Noel and Thomas had ample opportunities to let someone in. At least a half dozen times, one or the other of them exits the camera frame in the direction of the door, all without explanation.
So they get up and they go and let somebody in probably half a dozen times with no explanation of why they're walking over there. And then you don't see anybody else come in because the other person's probably sneaking up the stairs.
No charges on the guards either.
No charges.
We shared this with our forensic experts who agreed there was no way to conclusively determine from the video whether an unseen visitor was or was not let into the Epstein unit, although both Noel and Thomas have said no one else entered. At 6:22, either Thomas or Noel walk off screen again and reappear carrying food trays, breakfast for the prisoners. At this point, based on the autopsy results, Epstein is believed to already be dead. According to Thomas's account, he arrived at Epstein's cell to deliver his breakfast and found him in a seated position.
So the guard goes to bring him breakfast. They find him dead in a near-seated position. So I guess he's hanging in a seated position. Get this. Here we go. Guess what, though?
Buttocks an inch from the ground, held up by a torn sheet tied to the bunk bed in his room.
So an inch from the ground, his buttocks, not his legs. So he could have stood up.
At 6:30, someone
They have
rushes in.
paper sheets.
They're supposed to have paper sheets.
Yeah.
Why does no one bring this up?
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah. So guess what the guard does? To me, this is the most this may be the most damning thing.
At 6:30, someone rushes in from off camera, according to the report. This was Noel returning to the desk to call for help after Thomas discovered Epstein. Epstein's body was quickly removed from the cell. Only Noel and Thomas witnessed him hanging.
So if there's one thing a prison guard knows, because I know it, is that that's now a crime scene. And so what they did was they went in and tampered with the crime scene. Nobody else, what happened? Nobody else saw the crime scene as it appeared. They didn't see him hanging. They didn't see Epstein hanging from the bunk bed. They took him down and moved his body. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. Unless you're told to by your superiors.
Unless you're told to by your superiors.
To do. It wasn't their plan.
At 6:40 a.m., the video ends. Epstein's body is not seen being removed. Both Thomas and Noel have said they played no role in Epstein's death. They were charged with falsifying documents, but those charges were dropped as part of a plea deal.
They were charged with falsifying documents. You know why? Because they falsified documents. It's obvious. And then they got a plea deal. Whatever. We're not going to charge you. Turns out we're not going to charge you.
Are either of them doing any interviews?
I haven't heard. Why aren't they doing interviews? That'd be interesting. Here we go.
Additional clarification could come from a second camera mentioned in the report. It recorded an elevator bank in the same unit. Although the report stated that it did not cover areas that would have included access to Epstein's cell, it would at least show a missing minute. We reached out to the Department of Justice to see about obtaining that footage. They referred us to the FBI, who referred us back to the Department of Justice. Neither Thomas nor Noel responded to our inquiries through their legal representatives.
So no, they're not doing interviews, Kurt. They have legal representatives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
So they're not responding.
I don't want them getting stitched up, these two innocents.
Yeah.
For a case that demanded transparency, it's yet another muddled chapter. raising more questions than it answers.
So there you go. I would say good work, CBS. I can't believe, having CBS do this debunking Epstein videos like Tarantino debunking a shoe store CCTV video.
Yeah.
But here's
because they lost a lawsuit. This is a little bit of payback.
Yeah. Here's their report on it. In the weeks after Jeffrey Epstein died at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan in August 2019, then attorney William Barr said his personal review of surveillance footage clearly showed that no one entered the area where Epstein was housed. So that's a lie, leading him to agree with the conclusion of the medical examiner that Epstein had died by suicide. That's also another lie. It's a claim that's been repeated by other top federal officials, including Dan Bongino, who said on Fox that there's the video clear as day. He's the only person in there, and there's only one person coming out. But a CBS News analyst of the video that FBI made public earlier this month reveals that the recording doesn't provide a clear view of the entrance to Epstein's cell block, one of the several contradictions between the official descriptions of the video and the video itself. So that's their report on it. Now I showed you the video, and now you know the rest of the story. They're lying to cover this up. So they're covering this up either because Donald Trump's name is involved in this, or because of the donors to Donald Trump are caught up in it, or half the CIA or the FBI. Who knows how many?
The entire Western world is connected to. So that's all of the precious West that has to beat Russia and China. It's run by scumbags that would traffic your children and bring any kind of drugs in here that you think people are bad for doing.
That's right.
Your own leaders brought them in, and all the cartels are from your own intel services. All the things that suck is the calls coming from inside the house. And Trump is not going to destroy the elites. He made that clear. He's going to try to work it out with them because he got that sweet European grab him by the pussy tariff deal. And I'll bet you in his mind, he thinks that's more important than this. But I don't think so. I think the economy should take a hit to drag every one of these scumbag pedos out of government and put them in a wood chipper. And I would gladly have some tough times that beautiful day.
There you go. Well said by Kurt. We'll see. We'll see you Sunday in Oxnard. We'll see you then in Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan at the Village Underground, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see us in Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, and Chicago, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.